Brian Delaney has it on the tee for Virginia. And we are underway in Death Valley. Coming out of the end zone, Lynn J. Dixon. Good return. Dixon out across midfield and into Virginia territory, down at the 47-yard line. A 53-yard return.
What a start. They do an excellent job setting up this return. Look at the wall that gets formed to the right side of your screen here. Basically, Amari Rodgers does a good job of getting the edge, and then Dixon just running with a lot of speed up the field. Great starting field position.
And so here comes Trevor Lawrence and the Clemson offense for the first time tonight. The 6'6", 220-pound junior out of Cartersville, Georgia. And there he goes, lowering his shoulder, getting across the 35-yard line down to the 33. Good run on first down. And Dabo Swinney yesterday was joking with us. He says when he takes off, I always think about Ichabod Crane, but he is an effective running quarterback. Now he'll swing it out to the outside. This is Amari Rodgers with his first touch of the night. He's going to pick up about 4.
And to get back to Trevor Lawrence and his ability as a runner, you know, he's not looking to run, but it is a weapon for this Clemson offense. And when it is his opportunity to run, he's more than capable. In fact, he's more effective than I think people really realize.
Second down at 6. Good tackle behind the line of scrimmage by Noah Taylor. And strong sign linebacker as Travis Etienne gets his first touch of the night. So Trevor Lawrence has been sharp, very dialed in, completing 81% of his passes. He hasn't thrown an interception in well over 270 attempts. Virginia trying to get off the field on third down. Good coverage in the secondary, and that's through the hands of the intended receiver. Intended for Braden Galloway, and there is Joey Blunt in on the coverage for the Cavs.
It's a really nice job by the Virginia defense. You're defending a relatively short field, and Joey Blunt essentially in man coverage on Galloway as he's coming across the middle of the field and does a good job of playing the football. And it's got to be a good feeling for that Virginia defense.
So here comes B.T. Potter out on the field, the junior from Rock Hill, South Carolina. Virginia's going to burn an early timeout. Yards out. He is 3 for 3 on the year with a long of 52. That came against Wake Forest in the opener, matching his career long. Out of the hold of Will Swinney, a bit of a high snap, gets it off, and he bangs it through. It's an early lead for Clemson, Tim, but I think Virginia sees that as a bit of a victory.
Well, I believe so. You know, going back to the ACC championship game, I think Virginia felt like their offense was able to do some good things, but they really struggled defensively. And so I think, you know, defending basically half the field after the great return by Lynn J. Dixon, I think the Virginia defense has to feel pretty good about that stop.
53-yard return by Dixon gave best quarterback in the nation and the #1 team in the country outstanding field position, but they weren't able to get a touchdown out of it. With that said, Clemson strikes first here tonight. Now we're going to get a look at the Virginia offense. Behind sophomore Brennan Armstrong. Virginia 1-0. They beat Duke 38-20 last week. They went 6 years without playing Clemson, now 2 times in less than a year. Potter's kick, a sail to the back of the end zone. And Virginia will start at the 25. Let's go back to last week. Armstrong was really good late in that game.
And I think that was one of the things that was so encouraging to the Virginia coaching staff. Some struggles early, but late in that game, after some critical errors, Brennan Armstrong really got into a groove throwing the football, found his young wide receiver, Lavelle Davis, a couple times, and I think they know that it's going to be a maturation process, a growing process for him at the quarterback position, but they did like how he played late.
The sophomore from Shelby, Ohio, starts out of the gun, throwing right away, trying to hit one of his favorite receivers, the senior Terrell Janet. And that sails high. There you see the first 3 quarters, the fourth quarter, 21 points put on the board by Virginia to come back and win that game.
Bronco said he's decisive, good or bad. That's one of the things he likes about him. Whether it's an interception, or whether it's a completion for a touchdown, he loves the decisiveness.
Second down and 10. Out to the flat. And Wayne Talapapa, the running back, wasn't ready for it. And quickly it's third down.
Yeah, and these are the environments you don't want to be in for a young quarterback. On the road with some noise against the #1 team in the country and a defensive coordinator in Brett Venables who's not afraid to heat you up and do something crazy that you haven't seen before. So these known passing situations are dangerous for Virginia.
This is kind of what we saw in the Duke game for Virginia when they got behind 10-0. A lot of mistakes before settling down. Can't afford to do that tonight. Here comes the crowd on third down and 10. And on the draw, Armstrong doing what he does best, takes off, and it's going to be close to a first down. He was punished by James Skalski, the middle linebacker, but it's going to be a first down for Virginia.
Punished is the right word. It is a first down. It's a nice play by Armstrong, but Skalski is just a tough middle linebacker. If you looked it up in the dictionary, it would look like James Skalski, and people need to know that Brennan Armstrong is physical in his own right.
And there's another good run for Virginia from their #1 running back, Wayne Talapapa, the junior out of Hawaii. Coming off a 2-touchdown game against Duke. And this Virginia team, Tim, wants to run with tempo as much as they can. And quickly over the ball, second down and 2. Rolling out to his right, the southpaw. Looking downfield, nothing there, and he'll float it away. So on that run, we saw a little bit about what Dabo was talking about pregame, that comparison to Steve Young. Left-handed, of course, and not afraid to get out of the pocket and run a bit.
I don't know if I would go Steve Young, but, you know, he is a gritty, tough football player. You know, Bronco Mendenhall said he kind of belongs like in an iron cage match or a fight club. Like that's the type of kind of toughness that he has.
Third down and 1, and they sneak it ahead with Armstrong, and they'll move the chains as we go down to Katie George.
Well, guys, no one understands that Steve Young comparison better than Virginia OC Robert Anae. He was in the same class and started at center alongside Steve Young at BYU. And I said the biggest similarity he sees between the two is that grittiness and toughness that both play with and their abilities to work a pocket. Now, Anae said Young was bar none the fastest player on BYU's team. He can't say the same about Armstrong, but he can definitely get it done with his legs, guys.
Thanks, Katie. There's Robert Anae, 5th-year offensive coordinator at Virginia. Has been with Bronco a long time. Some pressure. Armstrong feels it from behind, takes off again, and another good run as he lumbers to the 45-yard line of Clemson. You can see that grit and determination in this kid.
Yeah, and while Brennan Armstrong runs like Steve Young right there, Robert and I also said, hopefully we can protect Brennan better than I did of protecting Steve Young, which I thought was a pretty good comment by Robert and I.
Yeah, they came to BYU together as freshmen. He was Steve Young's center. That's some deep handoff to Shane Simpson, the transfer from Towson. And that's going to be another first down for the Cavaliers. Simpson was an FCS All-American. Ronnie Walker, another transfer running back from Indiana, hasn't been cleared by the NCAA. That's still an appeal, but this is a Virginia team that does have some depth at running back right now.
Depth at running back and their offensive line, a lot of experience, you know, with these guys playing together. I think they're better up front. You know, the loss of Bryce Perkins and some skill position players, but better on that offensive line than a year ago.
Armstrong Low throw, incomplete, trying to get it to the 6'7" Lavelle Davis. And when you're 6'7", it's hard to catch a pass down around your ankles.
It is. You know, his strengths are balls on down the field, those contested catches like we saw a week ago against Duke. But when you look at this offense, Clay, you mentioned their tempo. This is what they want to do, though, running the football, quarterback runs, even whether it was called or not, you know, maybe on a design pass play. And then the ability to get things going in the run game, I think will start to settle the quarterback down a little bit in the passing game.
Simpson in the backfield with Armstrong on 2nd and 10. Stays clean in the pocket, has it complete, ball comes loose. Now, was it a catch for Tony Poljan, the tight end? They're going to say no.
And I think this is the right call of an incomplete pass. It's a great pass by Brennan Armstrong to Poljan, the tight end, coming across the field, right to the face mask. Can't throw it any better than that. But Skalski does a nice job of just go ahead and punching it out kind of before Poljan's able to kind of corral that in, make a football move. That's an incompletion.
The transfer from Central Michigan, 6'7" Tony Poljan. Can't make the catch. And now they may want to review this. Opening quarter alongside Tim Hasselbeck. I'm Clay Mathick. Katie George down on the sideline. Brennan Armstrong in his second career start. It happens here in Death Valley against the #1 team in the country, and he is 0 for 5 passing, but they've been able to convert twice on this series on 3rd down. Can they do it again?
I think it tells you about him as a player. 0 for 5 passing, but they're moving the football because of his legs. These known passing situations are tough. Would not be surprised if this is 4-down territory.
Incomplete. Absolutely fantastic coverage by Darion Kendrick, the preseason All-ACC corner.
Yeah, Kendrick's a really good player. He's got some experience. Does an excellent job driving on this. The ball's a little bit behind Jana. As a quarterback, you'd like to see him make that play. But Kendrick's able to be there, kind of rake at that right arm of Terrell Jana and force the punt.
Nash Griffin coming out, the 5th-year senior from Indianapolis. Already has a finance degree. Wells Fargo offered him a job. He turned it down so he could kick another year for the Cavaliers. High punt. It's going to bounce inside the 15, take a nice Cavaliers roll to about the 8-yard line. Now Trevor Lawrence and company will come out for the 2nd time. Talked about it once already tonight that Trevor Lawrence has a terrific streak of passes without an interception. 278 now without a pick. I mean, no doubt a Heisman Trophy candidate, likely the #1 pick in the NFL draft. And in many ways, he has become the face and voice of college football. First and 10. Big run for Etienne. He's going to get 9 on 1st down.
And you can see just the movement that the offensive line for Clemson gets right there. And if that's the case, that'll be a problem for Virginia. They need to do a better job of holding up on early downs to give them a chance to get into those 3rd down packages.
Second and 2, high snap. Rolling out, Lawrence feeling the heat, got rid of it. I mean, there was some heavy pressure coming from number 91, Mandy Alonso, and Joey Blunt, number 29. Blunt very active from his free safety spot. That's really all Lawrence could do.
Yeah, it was all he could do. He just wasn't able to get the ball, get enough on it to get it back to the line of scrimmage, which is why it's intentional grounding. And one of the things that Virginia does defensively is they do a good job with their disguise. They have smart players. They're kind of interchangeable players in different positions on their defense, and they can fool you. And it fooled the protection of Clemson on that play, which is why Joey Blunt had a free run at Trevor Lawrence.
And now Clemson calls a timeout. Blunt. 14-yard loss officially. And that's what Virginia did last week. They really created havoc against Duke. They forced 7 turnovers, 5 interceptions. Also had 5 sacks in that game, and we've got 1 already here tonight. Trevor Lawrence from his own end zone on 3rd and 16. Over the middle. Finds Travis Etienne. A terrific receiving running back now, and how easy was that to pick up the first down?
That was really easy. 3rd and forever, and you play so soft. Just a little check down to Travis Etienne. You mentioned a better receiver. Clearly has developed in that area throughout his time at Clemson. And then just look at the job he does, getting his shoulder square, get up the field, try to split defenders, and pick up the first down.
And Etienne again. Get a couple. A 2-time ACC Player of the Year. And amazingly, he came back for his senior year. A lot of people didn't expect that.
I think it was a bit of a surprise because I think a lot of people thought that he'd maybe be a 2nd-round pick, and, you know, what can you do? But it sounds like he loves being in college, loves competing, and some other reasons to stick around, and it's a lot of fun to watch.
Play's going to be whistled dead.
False start. Offense, number 56. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
That's right guard Will Putnam, the sophomore out of Tampa, the youngest of the offensive linemen for Clemson. He's done a good job this year, however. Just 1 returning starter up front for Clemson this year. 2nd down at 12. Play action. Lawrence looking left. Coming to the sideline. Batted away. Again, good coverage in the secondary. Nick Grant, who started all 14 games last year for the Cavaliers, got a hand in there to force 3rd and long.
And Amari Rodgers is running a shake route. It kind of starts to the post, and then he's going to bend it back to the sideline. Ball's left a little inside, but that's an excellent job by Nick Grant of keeping close coverage and driving on the football.
Senior from Spotsylvania, Virginia. Another 3rd down and long. They picked it up last time. Virginia showing that they're going to dial up some pressure here. Lawrence over the middle. What a catch! Climbing the ladder and bringing it down is Frank Ladson. Into Virginia territory.
It's a great catch and it's a great throw, and it started before the play. You saw Trevor adjust the protection. That gave him enough time to hang in there above the linebacker, drop it down in front of the safeties. It obviously helps to have a 6'3" wide receiver with a ton of courage going over the middle.
T. Higgins is with the Bengals. Justin Ross is out with a spinal injury. They think that Frank Ladson could be the next great downfield threat here at Clemson, and that's a good indication that a lot of people are right about that guess. They go back to the ground, nothing up the middle. 2 of his 4 catches coming into the night, touchdowns for Ladson. He's their fastest wideout. He added some weight during the long offseason, and Ladson has really been impressive the first couple of weeks.
He has. Zandier there, number 0, been impressive as well with the run blitz there, get some penetration. But you're right about Ladson. A lot of production on that side of the ball for Virginia out of Zandier.
Stretch play. Travis Etienne is swallowed up on the outside. Zandier in on that tackle again. Also there, Noah Taylor, who had a great 2019. Zandier, the ACC linebacker of the week. He's got a new number, and he's got the same attitude. He was number 33 last year. He wears 0 this year. 8th play of the series. Lawrence, can he convert again on 3rd down? No. Crowd wants a flag. They're not going to get it. Braden Galloway, the intended receiver, and D'Angelo Amos, the James Madison transfer, went stride for stride with Galloway and knocked it down.
Yeah, and Galloway is running basically a wheel route, like an out and up, and you get down the field. It's a really good throw by Trevor. As you see, Galloway was able to get his left hand on the football, not able to get that right one up there to secure it, and it was hard to tell to see if Amos maybe grabbed that arm. The fans here certainly thought that he did, but another big stop by the Virginia defense.
Will Spires on to punt. 4th year as the starting punter, and Billy Kemp calls for the fair catch. So the Virginia defense has looked pretty good here in the early going.
I've been really impressed, and to think, talking to Nick Howell about last year's ACC championship game, he said, I had a bad game plan. I called a horrible game. No one's more responsible than me for how it went. I didn't give our team a chance to win, and they certainly are playing differently in this matchup.
Nick Howell, the longtime Bronco Mendenhall assistant, 3rd year as defensive coordinator. Now here's Armstrong. Still hasn't completed a pass, and he's going to end up down in the backfield.
And I don't believe that this was a designed run. I think this was a designed pass play where Armstrong just makes a decision to bail on it early. You see the offensive line pass setting. It's not a lead blocker, and it's tough to make yards against this Clemson defense that way.
Balin Spector, the weak side linebacker, got to him. That's a loss of 4. 2nd down and 14. The lefty complete to Jana. And he gets it to the 20, still about 3 yards shy of the line to gain. It's 3rd down coming up for Virginia.
But it's a completion, Clay, and that helps. Any quarterback will tell you. Get the first one. Start to feel a little bit better.
79% of Virginia's offense went through Bryce Perkins last year. Big shoes to fill for Armstrong. Kemp goes in motion. Armstrong looking to the left, trying to hit Kemp. That pass was low and incomplete. Good coverage by Mike Jones, who's filling the spot left by Butkus Award winner Isaiah Simmons at linebacker. He's having a good year so far.
He really is. And, you know, he really just drives on that little out route by Billy Kemp, and I think made it a kind of an uneasy throw for Brennan Armstrong, which I missed outside. But you can just see the speed on defense. Yes, they lose Isaiah Simmons, but Mike Jones out there flying around as well.
Talked about the Virginia defense, how well it's been playing with the Clemson defense. Rock solid as well, coming off a shutout. Its first shutout in 4 years. They've allowed 13 points all season. There's some room to run on this return for Rodgers. He'll get it across the 35, out near the 38-yard line, so decent field position for the Clemson offense. Well, every Saturday morning, get ready for ACC football with The Huddle. Jordan Cornette, Eric McLean, E.J. Manuel, and Mark Richt preview the slate of games, keep you updated on all things ACC football. That's next Saturday, 10 a.m. Eastern, right here on ACC Network and the ESPN app. So far tonight, Trevor Lawrence, 3 for 6, 54 yards. Big hole on the left side. Power for Travis Etienne down at the 46-yard line.
You said power. That's exactly right. I mean, everyone sees his speed, but look at him just drag Nick Jackson down the field as he's trying to tackle him. Just so much strength, hard to get him down if you're the first guy.
Now this time Lawrence is going to follow Etienne, and he's going to pick up 5 on the ground.
Yeah, and Etienne may say, hey, Trevor, like, if you're going to not give me the football, like, don't make me into the lead blocker right after this. Watch what happens here. Pulls the ball out of Etienne's belly. He's like, no, oh, hey, now I'm going to push you in the back. I want you to be the lead blocker. Just go take Noah Taylor out.
2nd down and 5 from the 41 of Virginia. That's well defended. There's Zandier in on another tackle. Also Noah Taylor there to bring down Rodgers. Now bring up another 3rd down for the Tigers. Coming into the game, Clemson 55% on 3rd down. And that's an outstanding number. That's what led the nation last year when Ohio State had 55% conversion rate. Third and 4. Brandon Spector goes in motion to the slot on the right. Lawrence throwing out that way, and he finds Spector. The younger brother of Clemson linebacker Balin Spector. They have both been mentioned here already tonight.
That's a nice play. It's a run-pass option. Look at the offensive line. They're run blocking. I mean, the right tackle's 4 yards down the field. They're run blocking. Trevor does a good job of seeing the run blitz. Outnumbered in the box count. Just spits it outside to Spector.
Gain of 5 and a 1st down. 1st and 10 from the 34 of Virginia. 3-0 Clemson. Coming off a bye last week. They were able to get healthy. Dabo says they're as healthy as they've been all year. Cocking, firing. Lawrence complete. And another catch for Spector, and that's going to be close to another Tigers 1st down.
The thing I've been impressed with so far, and it's something that Dabo talked about, as well as offensive coordinator Tony Elliott, is Trevor's command of the offense and his adjustment of protections pre-snaps and his involvement in that, and you're already seeing it on display.
Looking for room on the left side. Not a lot there for Etienne this time, but he got just enough to move the chains. Another 1st down for Clemson. Well, this is the part of the field where Virginia really bowed its neck and forced that field goal earlier in the quarter. And so far, this Virginia defense has been pretty good, but they're backpedaling now. Rolling out to his right, Lawrence. It's a good catch by the tight end Galloway. Can't stay on his feet, but it's a gain of about 6 as Clemson moves into the red zone. Galloway's a good-looking tight end, Tim. It's a guy who was suspended most of last year, but ended up coming back to make an impact in the college football playoff.
And I think he's a player they feel like is a bit of an upgrade from recent years at the position.
2nd and 5. Lawrence to Etienne again. And he'll burrow to the 16-yard line. Etienne saw his 13-game touchdown streak come to an end last week against the Citadel. One shy of a school record. I mean, the starters were long gone by halftime in that one.
They were, and they've been used to that. And I think Travis Etienne will find plenty of other opportunities to get in the end zone.
And now Virginia calls another one. And I can't imagine that was in the pregame plans of Bronco Mendenhall to be out of timeouts before the end of the 1st quarter.
No, when you think about some of the things that have happened, a couple of burn times out, giving up a 3rd and forever, I think there are some procedural things that, probably frustrating to Bronco Mendenhall and his coaching staff at this point.
So this is a rematch of the ACC title game from last year. Clemson won it 62-17 in Charlotte. That was on December 7th of 2019, which seems forever ago considering what this country's been through. Virginia hung in there for a while. They only trailed 14-7 after the 1st quarter, but Clemson ended up racking up over 600 yards of offense, and it got really lopsided.
It did. There's just so much talent, and I think this Virginia team has a new appreciation for the athleticism, speed, this Clemson team.
Third down, trying to find some leverage on the outside, and Etienne stays on his feet and finds the end zone. What an athletic play to maintain balance. Travis Etienne finds pay dirt.
Balance, speed, really good. Little misdirection a bit with Amari Rodgers coming through there, and then you just see the strength before the balance and the ability to finish. Didn't find pay dirt against the Citadel, but finds it here.
9 plays, 63 yards in a little over 4 minutes as Potter tacks on the extra point to make it 10-0.
He's just such a good back. He does so many things well. Bit of the counteraction as a tight end. Galloway comes across the formation, and that's power. Running through Brenton Nelson's tackle. Just the strength, kind of the violence that he runs with, and then after all of that, the acceleration before he can get run down by Noah Taylor.
Travis Etienne, it says peace on his jersey as some of the players have traded out their name plaques for these words of love and peace, unity, what have you. He has 2 rushing touchdowns now this year, and he has scored a touchdown either rushing or receiving in 38 career games tonight. That is an ACC record. And Virginia again will start at the 25, now down 2 scores. So you see quality, unity, and before the game, we need change on the warm-up shirts that they wore out here pregame. Let's go down to Katie.
Had 12 different phrases to choose from. Love, enough, matter, vote. I'll wait for this play, Clay.
On first down, Virginia will take it ahead with Talapapa.
Equality, unity were other words, guys, that they were allowed to choose from, and it was just a representative of their beliefs, showcasing their voices. I was told that it was totally optional based on the individual player if they wanted to change their nameplate on their jersey. 70% of Clemson players chose to do so.
Yeah, I think they're just following their leader, Trevor Lawrence. He has become a vocal leader, especially this offseason, on social justice and the We Want to Play movement. 10-0 as we start the second quarter. Clay Matvick, Tim Hasselbeck, Katie George with you from Clemson. The #1 team in the country leading. Virginia on second down and 7, incomplete to Jana along the far sideline, and Brennan Armstrong is now 1 of 9 passing.
Yeah, and they're going to have to get something going in the passing game because you're not just going to be able to run it down Clemson's throat. So you do need to get some things going in the passing game. And then I think, Clay, that will start to open up some of the quarterback run game, which would really help this offense.
Again against Duke. 269, a couple of touchdowns, also threw 2 picks. Did get better as the game wore on, and there's a strike caught by Poljan, the tight end.
And that looked like a bust by the Clemson defense. Basically leave Poljan uncovered unless it was a zone pressure and they were running to him, which I don't believe it was. And good throw, good catch. And Poljan, really a nice player. Early on, the transfer from Central Michigan. Did a good job a week ago.
2 years ago, he started 5 games at quarterback for the Chippewas of Central Michigan. Here's Kemp on first down. Great move after the catch. Bounces off a tackle and gets to the 49 of Clemson. Back in plus territory are the Cavs. Billy Kemp, a guy that Virginia needs to step up. Assis Dubois, Joe Reed, they're gone. They need new receivers to emerge. Terrell Jana, one of the veteran receivers, makes that grab at the 41.
And this is a really nice job by Brennan Armstrong. Basically, you know, looks like they have some type of play design. Here comes the corner pressure from the bottom of your screen. He sees it and just spits it out to Jana. There's no defender there because the corner was coming. It's a nice job of seeing it by Brennan Armstrong.
A little bit of a sidearm delivery that time.
A little more Steve Young.
Yeah, that's right. 2nd and 2, looks left, runs right. He wants to run for the first down. He's not going to get there. In fact, I don't think he got back to the line of scrimmage. Great pursuit that time by K.J. Henry, the defensive end. So now 3rd down for the Cavs. Balin Spector also in on that stop. The run defense for Clemson, outstanding. Giving up 1.5 yards per rush through the first 2 games. On 3rd and 3. Straight ahead, Wayne Talapapa. And I don't think he got there.
And to me, that's a bit of an interesting play call on 3rd and 3. This ends up being short.
And then what do you do if it is short?
Well, listen, I mean, this looks almost like a kind of a short yardage play. You see Justin Mescal get inside there. And, you know, Talapapa reaches that ball out. It's interesting with the spot. But, look, what you asked, what do you do here? I mean, I think the reality is this. You don't come into this stadium and beat the #1 team in the country without taking some chances. And so if you need what looks like maybe 6 inches, then I think you go for it.
Well, and Talapapa's a good bet in a situation like that. Brennan Armstrong, a very stocky quarterback. You know, you could give it to him on the keeper. But Talapapa has shown some power here in the young season. And Bronco Mendenhall is going to go for it. Talapapa takes it out to the edge and gets the first down.
And that's just a great job of reading it by Wayne Talapapa. That play is designed to go inside, but Nolan Turner is way up in the box, and he's shooting, you know, basically through a gap. He's going to make this tackle behind the line of scrimmage. And Talapapa sees it, anticipates it, and just trusts his speed to get outside. It's a big conversion for Virginia.
A gamble that pays off here early in the 2nd quarter for Bronco Mendenhall. The drive stays alive. Armstrong back to the air, finds Kemp. Complete. Takes it inside the 20, down to the 18-yard line. And now you can see Armstrong finding a little confidence.
And this is really good ball location. It's the back shoulder of Kemp. As a quarterback, you want to be the eyes for your receiver. Turn him back inside, away from the contact of the defender. It was Zanders on that play, which led to a nice run after the catch.
Armstrong looking to throw again. Across his body. That's incomplete. Trying to come back for the catch was Kemp again. And Kendrick broke it up.
And I have to think, with all the times that we've seen Virginia roll Brennan Armstrong out to the right, moving a left-handed quarterback out to the right, I would think at some point they're setting up some type of throwback to the left, probably to Lavelle Davis, the big 6'7" wide receiver.
There's Brent Venables, the esteemed defensive coordinator for the Tigers. 2nd down. Armstrong will keep it, and he'll dive ahead just inside the 10-yard line. And it'll be 3rd and very manageable now for Virginia.
I said earlier, I thought Brennan Armstrong gave up on a play that was a design pass. This is a design run. They look like they're throwing the swing screen But look at the offensive line, and Talapapa released downfield to get a block. It's kind of a staple of what they would do with Bryce Perkins, and obviously a nice fit for Brennan Armstrong as well.
Armstrong, 6 carries, 24 yards. He's their leading rusher. They go back to their #1 running back, and Talapapa is stacked up by that big-time defensive front. And Spector, the weak side linebacker, comes in and makes another tackle. Number 10 is having a good night so far.
It really is. I've been impressed with these Clemson linebackers. You know, Skalski kind of had to wait for his opportunity to kind of be the guy. Spector, you know, another guy that had been here a little bit and had a chance to be on the field making plays, and Mike Jones in the same fashion.
So Brian Delaney will come on, the senior, who has made 14 straight field goals, the second longest active streak in the country. And he'll boot this through from 27 yards out to put Virginia on the scoreboard. Game 4 touchdown underdogs, but they're hanging right in there with the #1 team in the country. It's 10-3 midway through the second quarter. Delaney set to kick off for the Cavs. Lynn J. Dixon has been good on special teams so far. Had a 53-yard kickoff return to his credit in the first quarter. He will not bring this one out. Let's take a look at our New York Life drive recap.
Brennan Armstrong kind of got it going a little bit, got into a bit of a rhythm for that Virginia offense. Really started off with him seeing the corner pressure, spitting the ball outside to Terrell Jana, and a nice throw to Billy Kemp, which allowed for some run after the catch, and maybe do what Brennan Armstrong does best, run the quarterback, a bit of a lead draw, come away with 3 points and make it a one-score game.
Lawrence, quick throw out to Rodgers, and he's covered up by Blunt. Pickup of about 5. Armstrong completed 4 of 5 on that last series after a 1-for-9 start, so he's starting to settle in. And that's going to be a false start as Powell got going early.
Offense number 17, 5-yard penalty, second down.
That's Cornell Powell, 5th-year senior out of Greenville, North Carolina. We were talking to Dabo this week, Tim, and he really expects Powell to be an impact player this year.
He does, and he also expects guys to stay on sides, because you jump off sides, all right, hey, I got another wide receiver I'm throwing out there instead of you.
A lot of depth on this team at every position. Powell was a role player the last few years, starter this year. That's a nice pass play to Davis Allen. Just the 3rd catch this year for the backup tight end. It's a first down for Clemson.
It's just a corner flat combination. You see the pass protection, great throwing lane for him, and man, throws like that are part of the reason why everyone is so excited about Trevor Lawrence, just able to shoot it to his tight end running the corner.
Pickup of 14 for Allen. First down from the 43. Play action pass. Lawrence steps into this one. Deep ball. Tripped along the sideline. Ladson, crowd wants a penalty marker. They're not going to get it. I'm going to say that's incidental contact.
And I think I agree with this call. Trust me, I usually favor the offense, but you know, when the feet get tangled, the officials aren't going to throw a flag on that. And Nick Grant's looking back for the football. Feet kind of get tangled up. He's got his hands up there. See, that arm fighting is fine. Maybe a little grab of the hip there, but I think it's the feet getting tangled that causes him to fall.
Etienne takes a shoulder, gets thrown back. Looking for room on that left side. Nick Jackson was there. Guess who? Zane Zandier, who led the Hoos with 108 tackles last year, in on probably his 6th or 7th already tonight.
Yeah, these guys, you know, kind of downhill run and hit linebackers. Zandier is the definition of that.
3rd down, swing pass. Etienne, first down and more. Man, he can motor. He gets to the 40 of Virginia, and they'll move the chains.
And this has been a problem for Virginia so far. A year ago, top 25 defense in terms of third down defense. Get Clemson to another 3rd and long, and just a little drop off on a swing pass to Etienne, and there's nobody home. And another 3rd down and long conversion.
You can see Lawrence gesturing to the sideline. Let's go, guys. We've got him backpedaling. Let's get another play. And there's Dixon. We'll get about 3 on the ground. You see Lawrence, you know, he likes to keep the tempo up when he feels the defense is vulnerable.
He's a guy that started 56 games at quarterback in high school, 29 now in college football, and he's comfortable out there, so he does want to keep it going.
Empty backfield for Trevor Lawrence. Pressure coming off the edge. Zandier didn't get to the quarterback, but boy, Lawrence felt him coming. He could smell his breath, and he got rid of it.
Yeah, and Trevor tried to use a double cadence to see the pressure, but they end up blitzing it. You see they bring Ford to a side, which is why Zandier is free, and Trevor just tries to beat it by drifting and giving Joseph Ngata a chance to play the football. Just didn't give him a good enough ball.
Lawrence 10 of 15, already over 100 yards. He's at 114. Big 3rd down here for Virginia, trying to get off the field. They're down a touchdown. More pressure. Lawrence slides out of the pocket. He'll run. Great open field runner. He is faster than he looks. And he quickly picked up the 1st down, gets it to the 22-yard line of Virginia.
He's faster than he looks. Look at this, eyes downfield, doesn't like it. Then the decision to take off and run, and then look how he finishes this run. I mean, we know Joey Blunt's a good player. He's not sliding feet first before he gets to him.
Screen to Powell on the outside. And he'll get 7 more. I don't think the Ichabod Crane is fair. Yeah, I mean, he's 6'6". Yeah, I get that. He's gangly. Could afford to put on some pounds. But, you know, he is a devastating runner.
Yeah, I was a little confused by the Ichabod Crane reference as well.
After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 23, offense, 15-yard penalty, the down count, 2nd down.
It's on Lynn J. Dixon, the junior out of Butler, Georgia. And Dabo's not going to be happy about that as he calls Dixon over, and he's going to give him an earful.
I think they're getting kind of a walk in the bat late, and I don't know. I think Lynn J. Dixon's got a case to plead to Dabo.
So that makes it 2nd and 18 instead of the 1st down.
And Clay, plays like that right there, I think, are where Virginia felt like, okay, hey, now we've seen these guys, we've played against them. We need to make plays like that in space. That's a good job by Joey Blunt there to force a 3rd and forever.
Joey Blunt tweaked his knee against Duke. Good to go tonight. He had an interception in that game last week for the Cavaliers. Clemson needs the 12-yard line. Lawrence is going to go to the end zone. Has a man. Caught. Touchdown. Amari Rodgers. What a laser from Trevor Lawrence.
It's a laser by Lawrence, but it's a great play also by Amari Rodgers. You see him just work his feet at the back of the end zone there, get that left foot down. Good, strong hands with the football. Not moving around whatsoever, and Amari Rodgers, well, I think is a really fine player with a great play.
27-yard touchdown pass, the 5th of the year for Trevor Lawrence. Hear it. Clay Matvick, Tim Hasselbeck, Katie George back here in Clemson. 5:23 to go in the 2nd quarter. Virginia down now 17-3. And the thing that I have to ask you, Tim, the Pac-12 starts later than anybody, November the 7th, and they're going to have the smallest schedule. It's going to be hard, I would think, for that conference to be a factor when it comes to college football playoffs.
Especially when you think about we've already seen games getting rescheduled.
That's picked off, intercepted. Armstrong throws it away. Nolan Turner, the senior free safety. It's the first turnover of the night.
I was just about to say these guys need to be careful. That's Virginia. 5 minutes left in the half. You know, put a drive together, prevent Clemson from an opportunity to come and score. But as he's running on this bootleg here, Nolan Turner just runs the route better than the receiver. Drives on the football, and you know, Turner just does the little things right. He's always in the right place, probably has better ball skills than people give him credit for, and always finds a way to be around the football and make good plays.
He had no major offers coming out of high school, turned into a hard-working mainstay of the Clemson defense. Here's a little sleight of hand by the Tigers. And on that end around, Brandon Spector's going to get a few. That is the third interception in 2 games for Armstrong, and that's got to be a distressing trend if you're Bronco Mendenhall.
Yeah, it is, and I think, you know, look, it's a learning lesson, but it's also the scenario of this game. You know, you're down 2 scores, you're backed up. Just putting together a couple first downs would have been a success.
Etienne, his penalty flags fly, trying to get to the edge, and he is surrounded by a host of Cavaliers. We'll see what the flag is about. Might be a face mask.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, number 6. 15-yard penalty at the end of the run. Automatic first down.
That's Nick Jackson.
And Etienne had a little handful of face mask as well, but kind of quickly got it off of Nick Jackson's face.
First down for Clemson. Just over 4 minutes to go here before halftime. Good run for Lynn J. Dixon. He's got power too. 5'10", 195-pound junior out of Butler, Georgia. Going back to your comment, though, about the Pac-12. What do you think?
Well, I just think that it's a small sample size. We've seen college football games get rescheduled, and so with that being the case, I think that's one of the challenges. Dabo told us you're competing against your opponent. You're also competing against COVID to be able to play each and every week. It's why you need buy-in on your school's protocols.
You swing it to the outside. A lot of room. That's another Clemson touchdown. Amari Rodgers with a leap into the end zone after the catch. That's his 2nd touchdown tonight.
They say Amari Rodgers is built like a wide receiver, a running back, but he's got speed like a wide receiver. It also helps when you have your receiver buddies like Cornell Powell get a block on the perimeter. Look at 17 do a good job, and then it's one-on-one, and you see the athleticism of Amari Rodgers.
Nick Grant, the free safety, was honing in, and then whoop, right over the top of his back. Rodgers with his 3rd receiving touchdown of the first half. Fumbled. Scooped up. And out close to the 20-yard line. Virginia will have it as we go back to that bad pass by Armstrong.
Yeah, it's a force, and you see Clemson's having a hard time getting lined up, which, you know, on a misdirection, you know, bootleg play doesn't distort the defense as much because they're not getting, you know, you're not getting as much movement. And then Nolan Turner just does a good job of driving on the football as Keaton Thompson is running an over route, drifting up the field. It's not a pass Brennan Armstrong can make, but it is a nice play by Nolan Turner.
3:18 to go before half, but Virginia's out of timeouts. They burned up all their timeouts before the end of the first quarter.
And I really think, Clay, that last drive should have maybe even almost had a 4-minute drive mentality to you. You know, you're trying to was at a minimum flip the field, because if you give the ball back to Clemson, you know, then they're up against the clock to try to score. But instead, the quick turnover, the quick strike, is really the last thing Virginia needed.
Talapapa trying to get behind the tight end on the right side and can't find the corner. And there's another tackle for Balin Spector.
It's a tackle for Balin Spector, and it's a really nice job again by Nolan Turner. I mean, Nolan Turner basically sets the edge here. You're going to see him insert down right there and essentially force it back inside to Brian Brzee and Spector.
I haven't called Brian Brzee's name much tonight. True freshman out of Maryland, one of the top recruits in the country. Big number 11 is going to be a star, and in some cases already is. Third down. Armstrong lofting it to the near sideline, looking for Davis. And again, good coverage in the Clemson secondary. That was Andrew Booth that time, the cornerback out of Georgia.
That is a good job by Booth, because Booth goes 6 feet tall and he's covering a 6'7" wide receiver, and I think he gets away with some contact down the field as Davis is trying to go up. You see that grab right there by his left, with his left arm. It's a nice job of being competitive. Fortunate not to get called.
Davis, the reigning ACC receiver of the week. He's been targeted a couple of times, but no catches yet tonight. And Clemson will have it back at about their 27-yard line. With 1 minute and 45 seconds to work with, Trevor Lawrence has a couple of timeouts in his back pocket. And that is plenty of time for this young man. And it's situations like this that, you don't always get, when you play games where your starters aren't playing in the fourth quarter. Treat this 2-minute drive as an opportunity to work on it, to have situational football to improve, and for Trevor to operate in these environments. 14 of 19, 160, a couple of touchdowns for Lawrence. He'll throw here. And at the 40-yard line, reaching up, unable to make that catch is Powell. Cornell Powell. Not tall enough to bring that one in. .244 yards total offense for the Tigers. Just 111 for Virginia tonight. Deep down the middle of the field. And that's going to be incomplete. Long run for the tight end Galloway. I will tell you what, one thing I have seen is that Trevor will hold the ball, and they do a good job giving him good time. But if you're a receiver or a tight end for that matter, do not stop running, because he's just waiting for you to outrun the defense, and then he has the ability, even flat-footed, to just launch it out there for you to go run underneath. Got a good kicker in B.T. Potter. Wouldn't take much to get into his field goal range. Third down and 10. Flushed. Lawrence off balance. He'll throw it away, and it's fourth down. So instead of getting into Potter field goal range, you're going to have to punt. And again, Virginia doesn't have any timeouts. They weren't very good at economizing those early on in this game. Yeah, I mean, I thought when they called the timeout because they were down a player on field goal block, it was a bit of a probably, misjudgment there. Look, just like I said for Trevor with a 2-minute drive situation, Brennan Armstrong and his development, good opportunity coming up. Will Spires, the son of the Clemson Hall of Famer Bill Spires, who used to punt here as well. And that's going to be spotted at the 35-yard line with 1:19 to go. Armstrong comes back out. 5 of 16 passing, 57 yards. He has thrown an interception.
And see, I think it's a different scenario than I was talking about before with it being a 4-minute offense scenario. I think you got to go right into 2-minute drive mode with Brennan Armstrong right now.
Pushed, and there's Brzee. Brian Brzee. You knew he was going to get his first sack at some point tonight. Well, it comes late in the first half. What a huge man. A true freshman, but already built like an NFL starter.
He sure is at 6'5", 300. And some of the most incredible things you've ever seen is Brian Brzee playing high school football. I mean, it like a man-child out there and looking like it here. I'm on his path to Brennan Armstrong. You know, now I think this situation kind of took a sudden change, Clay, with the sack. Now you're backed up, and even Clemson's mentality now is, oh, hey, we're going to call a timeout because even if we get the ball back with 30 seconds, we may have an opportunity.
Brian Brzee, part of that #1 recruiting class from 2020, according to ESPN. Talked to Dabo Swinney this week and the coaching staff, and they feel that this might be the best recruiting class, obviously, they've ever had, and might be the best roster they've ever had. 2nd and 17. Armstrong over the middle. That is complete to Kemp. Out at the 48-yard line, quickly brought down by Nolan Turner. He'll rush up. Just over a minute to go before half.
And you can see it sometimes. This is a really nice ball by Brennan Armstrong, right into the chest of Kemp, running into the middle of the field.
Just trying to find that consistency. He'll throw again. Looking for Davis. Did he get a foot down? You bet he did. Boy, that was a nice throw, too.
It was an excellent throw. I thought it looked originally like a bit of a force because of how deep the corner was sinking. But Davis does a nice job on the sideline here, just dragging his foot. Look at his left foot. He's caught that football, left foot down. That's really impressive by a true freshman.
Cox fires, caught. Jana slips a tackle and gets into the end zone. And it's a quick strike drive by Virginia. You talked about the 2-minute drill. Well, they worked it to perfection there behind Brennan Armstrong. In just his 2nd career start, he looked like a veteran.
He sure did, and you know they come after Brennan Armstrong here, and so there's not a whole lot of coverage. Good ball, and Terrell Jana just does a nice job of getting inside Zanders. And with Zanders falling, it's a walk-in for Terrell Jana.
4 plays, 65 yards in just 38 seconds.
Well, how about that for some quick offense? You know, the coaches talked about Brennan Armstrong being able to just kind of move on, be decisive, good or bad. Well, that certainly happened. Drive starts with a sack, and then big play after big play by Brennan Armstrong, capping it off with a nice throw to Terrell Jana.
Armstrong's got to feel good about that, especially after throwing that pick early in the quarter that led to Clemson points. Jana, the Vancouver native, had 74 catches last year, 4th most in the ACC. He had one of the 2 touchdowns scored against Clemson in last year's ACC title game, and he gets a big score here just ahead of halftime. The shot in the arm that the Cavaliers needed.
I mean, morale, huge morale boost. Look, if you can go into halftime with it being a 2-score game, then I think that you need to be pretty comfortable with that if you're Virginia.
Delaney try to boot this through the end zone, and he does. With 41 seconds to go before half. So you've got the best quarterback under the sun that's not already playing in the NFL, and a guy making his 2nd career start, and here's how the numbers compare so far.
Yeah, and I think Trevor's obviously, you know, been a little bit more efficient. But Brennan Armstrong's moved this offense for Virginia with his ability to run, and certainly came away with some big plays on that 2-minute drive.
Draw play, Dixon. And Lynn J. Dixon is going to go with a conservative run and pick up a yard, maybe a yard and a half. Clemson does have a timeout left. We'll see how they work this. Well, that's going to be a false start. It's been a momentum shift.
And I would tell you,
false start, offense, number 71. 5-yard penalty, second down. 10-second runoff applies here. Please reset the game clock to 11 seconds. The clock will be on my signal.
I'll tell you, we've met with Dabo enough times to know he's usually a glass half full guy and very upbeat. I think this team's going to get an earful at halftime.
That's Frank Ladson after the catch out at about the 29 to stop the clock with 3 ticks left before the half. It was a 45-point blowout in Charlotte in the ACC title game. Virginia 28-point dogs coming into this one. But at the half, they are hanging with the #1 team in the country, down 2 scores, and a late rally by, the beleaguered quarterback. Brennan Armstrong can build off that success late in the second quarter. We saw him really improve as the game wore on in the first contest last week against Duke. Through the back of the end zone, it's a touchback as we go down to Katie.
Well, when you talk to Virginia players about that ACC title game loss, the general consensus is that they were starstruck playing on that stage against this caliber of opponent. Charles Snowden said, "I thought I was playing in the ACC, a Power 5 conference, the top of the top. That game showed me there is a whole nother level to college football." So the last 9 months, this team has been working on reaching a level quite like Clemson. And guys, right now they're hanging in.
That was quite a measuring stick last year. This is a long way from over, but they're hanging in there right now with the #1 team in the country. And they go to work on first down. Good run. Here's Wayne Talapapa, his 6th carry of the night. The quarterback, Brennan Armstrong, the real story of this offense. He started out so poorly, but then really cranked it up throwing the football late in the half.
When you referenced him playing well late in the game a week ago, starting to get comfortable. He is a young player, only his 2nd start, and I think his style of play probably leads to him getting a little bit warmed up.
And his first pass attempt of the second half is incomplete. He tried to hit his 6'7" tight end, Tony Poljan. And excellent coverage by Andrew Booth.
And that's the 2nd time Andrew Booth has found himself up against a 6'7" receiver going up for a 50-50 ball, and the 6-foot Booth does another excellent job.
There goes Kemp in motion. Kemp comes back. They fake the handoff. Armstrong on the keeper. He is a great running quarterback, and he has got power. And he churns across the 45 to the 47-yard line.
And this is essentially like a fake reverse. It's quarterback sweep, but with like a fake reverse to it. Here comes Kemp back across. Look at that freeze the defender. Skalski, who's got great instincts, he's running the other way. Now he's able to recover because Rashawn Henry's not able to get a good enough block to spring him, but man, that's pretty good.
Of course, Bryce Perkins was an outstanding runner, Tim, but these guys are completely different athletes.
I mean, I feel like Armstrong's almost like a fullback, a Larry Zonka type.
On first down, pressure coming. Armstrong delivers. Davis can't hang on. Broken up by Landon Sanders. But that was thrown well by Armstrong. There is a flag on the play.
It was a perfectly thrown ball. Davis should catch it, and I think this flag is going to be on Sanders. I think they're going to call targeting.
Personal foul, targeting, defense number 36. That play is under further review.
See the ball location. It's a perfect throw. But you see the, I mean, listen, he launches, you know, he lowers his head, and it's minimal contact. But there's contact to the head of Davis, who would be deemed defenseless in that situation.
This doesn't look good for Sanders.
And I know fans are going to sit there and look at that and say, oh, I mean, he barely touched him. And the crowd here is saying that. But there needs to be intent. There looks like there's intent. Wouldn't you say, Clay? Looks like their intent and kind of a launch.
There's always a couple of questions with targeting. Is there forcible contact with the crown of the helmet? That's the first potential targeting violation. Also, is there forcible contact to the head or the neck with an indicator of targeting? And that launch,
listen, the forcible contact is the question here, because there's clearly a launch. It's the forcible contact that's the question, but that's a defenseless receiver.
And there is helmet-to-helmet contact.
There's contact with the head. Is it forcible contact?
And the outcome of this review is significant for Clemson, because if Sanders is ejected from this game, he's going to have to sit out the first half of next week's game against Miami. And that is huge for the Clemson Tigers.
Yeah, you know, even teams that have depth, situations like this, you know, aren't good. But, I think the question of the forcible contact is the key here. And I think you can easily make the argument that while there was contact, there was not forcible contact.
Our replay official, Larry Malum.
After further review, there is no foul for targeting.
They overturn it.
Player 36 for Clemson can remain in the game. Incomplete pass, second down.
You think they made the right call?
Well, I think with forcible contact, I think if the contact to the head was more, then I don't think they would have overturned it. There clearly was a launch. Sanders can't do that and make the contact, but see how there's just minimal contact with, you know, the face mask. I don't have a problem with it being overturned.
And Sanders looked like he was trying to turn his head away at the last moment too. That may have played a factor. There's a catch, a pickup of about 3 yards for Kemp, and it's going to bring up third down and fairly long here for Virginia as this drive to start the second half continues for the Cavaliers. Can they pick up a third down? Virginia 4 of 9 tonight on third down. Armstrong going to the far sideline, has a man. Great catch. Davis continues to impress as a rookie.
He absolutely does. I mean, they have a 6'7" true freshman, 2 games in, have this many contested catches. It's pretty remarkable. It does a nice job of not extending and pushing off. There's some contact there, but not enough to warrant an offensive pass interference. You see the challenge with such a big receiver.
Going with pace and going to Davis again, underthrown, and this time it's picked off. A one-handed interception by Andrew Booth. Picked off in the end zone. It'll be a touchback, and the Tigers have it back.
We'll make it 3 for Andrew Booth, because this is an outstanding play. That's a one-handed grab. That looks like an Odell Beckham type catch. It's press bail, eyes on the quarterback. He sees it up. He plays on top of the receiver to cut him off, and that's just an outstanding play on the football. Andrew Booth's the wrong guy.
Bojangles.
It's a big Bo moment against a big wide receiver. This is outstanding. I mean, well, you said in the break, just knocking it away would have been a good play. Coming down with the interception was a great play and a big moment.
Second interception thrown by Armstrong. It goes back to the Clemson offense. And ripping off a first down is Travis Etienne. The last time Clemson picked off Armstrong, it didn't take him long to score, and it really changed the feel of the game at that time. We'll see what the Tigers do with this takeaway. That's incomplete. just out of the hands of the tight end, Galloway. But that Andrew Booth pick might be the best play defensively I've seen in a college game in 10 years.
Well, I said it was almost like that Odell Beckham catch where, you know, he's got his left arm on the 6'7" Davis, and he goes up with his right arm and is able to kind of just stab at it and come down with it.
Clemson, top 10 in the country each of the last 5 years in total defense. And Lawrence is going to be sacked from behind. Just a crippling hit by Richard Burney, the defensive end. 6th-year senior out of Chesapeake, Virginia. And it's going to be 3rd down and long.
Yeah, and Burney just does a good job. Carmen, the left tackle, really good player, just kind of gets his weight over his toes, and Burney able to get around him. And nice pass rush.
Second sack tonight of Lawrence by the Cavs defense. Conservative play. But Etienne is going to turn it into something big. He escapes to the 40 of Virginia. Still on his feet as he gets inside the 30-yard line. And finally ushered out of bounds by Blunt. That looked like it was dead in the water for a loss. And Etienne, the 2-time ACC Player of the Year, turns it into a big game.
Well, it really should have been. I mean, it's essentially Cross has got the ability to make the play right there. And then you have 4 other Virginia defenders that are there to make the play as well. And 3rd and long has been absolutely devastating for Virginia defensively.
3 catches for Etienne now, 83 yards through the air. Man down. Back in a moment.
Some swing and shot in the arm for Clemson, all because Travis Etienne and his ability to make someone miss and pick up the 1st down.
So the drive keeps going, pumping to the end zone. Pass is caught. Another fantastic catch for Amari Rodgers. No, he dropped it at the last moment. Couldn't hang on.
I was with you at first, though, Clay. They're running the fake screen, and then they're trying to throw a vertical up the field, and Amari Rodgers looks like he's initially able to kind of grab it, but, oh, maybe.
Boy, I don't know.
I think that
Well, the play gets
too late now, but going back to that, I think he catches it and is rolling over, and then Nelson kind of punches it out. Too late now, but I think that was probably a catch and a touchdown by Amari Rodgers.
They went quickly, and Spector made a catch, picks up 4, and it's going to be 3rd down and 6. But yeah, I think that if they wanted to, they could have taken another look at that. They need the 19-yard line for a 1st down. Pressure coming. Lawrence hit as he throws, and he got rid of it. As Xander was there trying to wrap him up.
And that's a big stop by Virginia defense. You go back to this. Look, Amari Rodgers got 2 hands on the football there. He comes down, and then he's twisting. He's rolling over. He still has the ball. There it comes out as Nelson is kind of raking at the football. And I'm surprised that there wasn't another look at it.
I think it's right. I mean, I don't know that he completed the catch, but maybe a little surprised they didn't look at it. Here comes B.T. Potter on for a field goal attempt from 42 yards out, and it's right between the eyes. So Clemson tacks on 3 more. 10:33 to go, 3rd quarter. It's an 8-play, 55-yard scoring drive for the Tigers. Clemson on a beautiful October night. First game against an AP #1 team since '99. Virginia, its first trip to Death Valley since 2009 when they pulled a big upset that year. Let's go down to Katie.
Well, as this Clemson sideline continued to celebrate Andrew Booth and his incredible interception, guys, Dabo Swinney brought the defense back down to earth real quick. As happy as he was for Booth, he was just as unhappy with the fact that they were even defending the end zone in the first place. So Swinney making it a point to keep his defense locked in with their foot on the gas.
How about that? Not satisfied.
How'd you like that for a standard? You're defending the end zone. What's wrong with you? Come on.
Kind of like a 10-point swing, though. A turnover turns into 3 points. I mean, Virginia was finding some momentum again. That pass is complete, a pickup of about 4 yards.
I agree with you on the momentum. I mean, you know, life going into halftime, an opportunity in the second half here, and ball left just short, and a great play by Booth totally changed it.
2nd down and 6. Armstrong taking off, and he'll slide ahead, and there's a flag. That's going to be a late hit on Spector.
Plays like this are tricky. You have a quarterback that'll run you over, decide to slide, so it's hard to kind of pull off quarterbacks like that. Why Spector got caught.
Boy, Balin Spector's been such a hard hitter tonight.
Unnecessary roughness defense, number 10. 15-yard penalty. 1st down.
Most quarterbacks, you expect them to slide. With Armstrong, you're not expecting him to slide, and so it just puts a linebacker like Spector in such a tough spot.
Armstrong, 10 carries for 39 yards. He is the leading rusher for Virginia. He'll run again. And that was more out of desperation, and he barely got it back to the original line of scrimmage. Second down. This is a big series for Virginia, Tim.
It really is. Kind of keep fighting your way back into this football game, and you know, would not be surprised whether it was Pooljan or whether it was Davis. Another opportunity down for those guys down the field to use their height advantage.
Swing pass. That's going to be a catch and run for Talapapa. He'll get about 8. 3rd down and manageable here for the Cavs.
You mentioned Brian Brzee earlier, but how about Miles Murphy, the other true freshman D lineman? The pursuit down the field, rushes the passer, and then just look at the hustle down back to Talapapa. Bright future for those two.
ESPN's number 3 player in the country when he signed with Clemson. That is going to be short by a good yard. Talapapa, who has been their short yardage workhorse throughout the season so far, not able to get there. So now 4th and 1, and Broncos going to go for it.
I think it's the right call, and I'd expect a quarterback run.
It is. Can he get the edge? Yes, he can. A lot of room to run. And he's inside the 15-yard line before he's finally cut down.
And I think this is a read play by Armstrong. Everyone's up in there for Clemson defensively. As the ball goes into the belly of Talapapa, the defense converges, and Armstrong just has enough speed to beat Skalski to the perimeter.
And Brent Venables is not pleased with that. It's a pretty good downfield blocking, too, by the receiver, Lavelle Davis. Again, the stuff that kid is doing as a freshman, very impressive. They keep it on the ground, and Talapapa goes airborne to the 10-yard line. As Skalski makes another tackle for Clemson. Again, this offense has found some traction at a critical point in this football game. 7 minutes to go. 3rd quarter. That pass is caught at the 4-yard line. And a host of tacklers bring down Kemp. 1st down and goal to go for Virginia.
That's a nice throw by Brennan Armstrong. It's a nice play design by offensive coordinator Robert Anai. They moved the back out of the backfield, pulled the underneath coverage. It kind of defines the read for Brennan Armstrong. That's why you saw the decisiveness and the confidence to shoot that one in there.
They went for it on 4th down earlier on this drive. Can they pay it off now? Armstrong goes under center. Talapapa and Simpson in the backfield. Armstrong, 7-step drop, wide open man, touchdown. Caught by Keaton Thompson, the Mississippi State transfer, who's technically the backup quarterback, but Robert Anae likes to use his backup QBs as wide receivers, and he catches a big TD here.
Well, I think you're just trying to find a way to get athletes on the field. It's a really cool play design. They're going to short motion into the right side of your screen, and then it's hard play action, and it's essentially like a throwback to the tight end. You just get lost in the shuffle. Believe it or not, at 6'4", 250 pounds, 15 pounds, you get lost in the shuffle, but that's a cool play design, well executed.
Delaney comes on for the point after and rams that through as Virginia pulls to within 10 with just over 6 minutes to go in the quarter.
You know, this looks like power pass, spider 2Y banana, as John Gruden would say, except for they've got Thompson basically running across the formation, and Armstrong does a nice job of selling it on the fake. Eyes play side first and then getting back to him, and the Clemson defense just loses him.
Keaton Thompson, the Mississippi State transfer. He was a backup quarterback to Nick Fitzgerald and Garrett Schrader. Never really fit what Joe Moorhead was trying to do with that offense. Wasn't a good fit for the new coach, Mike Leach. Decided to transfer, finds his way to Charlottesville, and he's wearing number 99. Remember, you've got to earn your number at UVA.
And by the time you earn your number, the one that you want to choose might already have been selected. And so you can get a backup quarterback / utility player, end up in 99.
And that's a mistake for Brian Delaney as he kicks it out of bounds. Well, join us tomorrow on the ACC Network for a women's field hockey doubleheader. First, it's UNC against Duke starting at noon Eastern. Then Boston College takes on Louisville. Plus, we'll round out our Sunday best with a women's soccer doubleheader. Virginia and Miami. Then Clemson taking on Duke. Field hockey starting at noon. Soccer at 3 Eastern right here on the ACC Network. So Clemson being tested tonight, and maybe a lot of people, including Clemson themselves, didn't expect this. 28-point favorites coming into the night. Penalty after the kickoff puts it at the 35, and that's a run for Etienne, a short gain.
And I do think if you start to give this Virginia defense, you know, a little bit of hope and a little bit of life, you'll start to see a little more aggressiveness out of their play calling. And, you know, Zane Zandier, one of these guys that they like to send and play on the other side of the line of scrimmage.
Wide open. Frank Ladson. That's going to be a first down as they approach midfield again. Ladson, the sophomore out of Miami, who has been impressive here in the early season. They could use a big play from the likes of him now. It is Ladson on the tunnel screen. Here we go. Inside the 35, and he'll waltz out at the 33-yard line.
You mentioned the tunnel screen. Basically, they form a tunnel. That's why they call it a tunnel screen. Look at the left side of this offensive line. You know, Bockhorst is going to get out there and do a nice job of sealing it, and there's that little lane to get up the field.
Fake the handoff to Etienne. What a dodge there by Amari Rodgers. Just a beautiful move to get away from the pursuit. Back in the red zone are the Tigers.
He's such a unique player. They said built like a running back, speed like a wide receiver, but the quickness and strength makes him so dangerous with the ball in his hands.
So Virginia calls a timeout as they're back on their heels now. First down and goal to go for Clemson. Amari Rodgers having himself a big night.
Yeah, and this is really impressive. This is a guy who last year was playing with a knee brace because he was coming off of a torn ACL, and you would not know it now. Looks like the speed and quickness, explosiveness is completely back. And you know, Amari Rodgers, and the ball gets spread out in this offense, but just incredible what he's done tonight. 6 catches. First 2 games had 6 catches, and really I thought had a 3rd touchdown.
I was just going to say, I think you're still thinking he probably did.
I think had it been ruled a touchdown, it would have stayed.
Tight end Galloway goes to the right side of the formation. Etienne will run that way. And he'll lower his head and get to the 4-yard line. 2nd down and goal. Been so many athletic plays tonight for this Clemson team on both sides of the football. Lawrence, Etienne, touchdown. Just an easy pitch and catch to Travis Etienne out of the backfield. And he is having a big receiving night.
And I think he may be due for a big receiving year, but this is a really cool play design by Tony Elliott. Basically, it's a little slide play. They're going to fake to Amari Rodgers, and then they're going to slide Travis Etienne across the formation into the flat. Kind of like a bootleg, but instead of using your tight end to block down and be the flat runner, you do it with your tailback coming across the formation.
And the point after by Potter makes it 34-17 with 3:54 to go in the 3rd.
We were just talking about Amari Rodgers and how dangerous he is with the ball in his hands. So let's motion him across the formation, fake it to him, and then bring it back the other way. Outflank the defense with your really talented running back. And Trevor does a nice job of just inviting in the defender, getting the ball off. Who do you stop? That's the question.
Yeah.
Too many of them.
And if you key on number 9, you've got number 16's arm to worry about, and vice versa. Etienne with 4 catches for 87 yards. Had a rushing touchdown, a receiving touchdown. Talked about the athleticism and the sheer talent that Clemson has. And it just wears on you. And we have seen so many great plays and that athleticism rise to the top here tonight against Virginia.
You mentioned that athleticism. A lot of it starts with number 9. A little spin move after breaking a few tackles, then the acceleration. And how about Amari Rodgers just getting on top of the defense, keeping that foot in bounds. And the ability to just leap a defender. Defense doesn't want to be outdone, so they're going up and making one-handed interceptions. And just incredible how much talent is on this roster.
Jet sweep to Kemp, and he'll get 5. 5 straight ACC titles for Clemson, 5 straight trips to the college football playoff. And the recruiting was great this offseason, maybe the best ever for Clemson. ESPN certainly thought so, giving them the #1 ranking. Armstrong looking downfield. On 2nd down, he's going to run and pick up maybe a yard.
You know, in regards to that recruiting, I think Dabo takes a lot of pride in the fact that they would be ranked outside the top 10 some years, 15, you know, some years. And, you know, what do you know? They end up finding a way to still be one of the best teams in the country.
Number 98, Miles Murphy, made that last stop. He is going to be a great, great athlete here at Clemson. Already doing so many wonderful things here. That's going to be a first down for Virginia. Murphy, 6'5", 275, part of that recruiting class. Forced to fumble. That led to a touchdown against the Citadel a couple of weeks ago. That's tipped. And it lands incomplete. Niles Pinckney, the defensive tackle, nearly came up with an interception.
That's a bad feeling right there for a quarterback. Feels like it's up in the air for about 5 minutes when that happens.
That happened to you a few times?
I mean, a few. They usually caught him, though.
And Armstrong's not going to have enough to get to that edge.
And that is such a good play by Nolan Turner. I mean, he basically just, watch him set the edge here. I mean, there's a convoy leading Armstrong out to the perimeter, and you think, hey, it's going to be a big play. Look at Turner. Just basically come downhill and just saw off the legs of any would-be blocker or Armstrong.
Pressure. Armstrong running for his life. Can he get the first down? No, he can't. Looks like he's going to be short. They actually gave him a pretty good spot, but it's going to be fourth down. And now Bronco Mendenhall is going to keep the offense on the field. He's had some pretty good luck on fourth down tonight. Going to roll the dice again. Oh, a little second effort there by Armstrong, and I think that's the difference.
I think you're exactly right, Clay. I think that the initial push was stopped, but it was that second push by Armstrong and that offensive line that's going to get them the first down. You know, they've done this a couple times. Skalski was onto it. He's like, no, 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 you're not going to walk up and kind of quick snap us. You see the instincts of the middle linebacker Skalski, but that second push was just enough.
Virginia now 3 for 3 tonight, converting fourth downs. Armstrong will take off again. Designed run for the quarterback, and he is leveled. Another physical hit from Andrew Booth, who had that amazing interception earlier tonight.
He's had three pass breakups, a pick. Really nice tackle there in the open field. They were basically leaving the corner unblocked, blocking everybody but the corner. Booth up to the challenge.
2nd and 7, final seconds here of the quarter. Armstrong going high and deep. Has a man just off the fingertips of Kemp. Kemp very fast, but couldn't run under that delivery.
And it was a double move. Kemp gets on top of Goodrich. He just kind of stumbled a little bit as that ball was getting there. I thought he was going to have a chance to run underneath it.
Virginia 6 of 13 on third down tonight. Armstrong hit, tried to get out of the pocket, and he can't. Walls crash in around him. And that is the third sack tonight by the Clemson defense, and it comes at a huge time. There's number 5, KJ Henry. And that is how quarter number 3 comes to an end on a cool, crisp night in Clemson, South Carolina, the number 1 team in the country, leading 30th quarter this season. That's going to change here tonight, we expect, as Clemson will have it after the touchback at the 25-yard line. Let's take a look at tonight's Players Spotlight, brought to us by Geico. Trevor Lawrence tonight, 277 yards, 3 touchdowns. Again, he's over 300 passes straight now without an interception.
And I think that's the part that's really impressive. He's aggressive with the football, but not turning it over.
First down. Spector on the reception. Good run after the catch. Give him 12 or 13. So you talked about it earlier, Tim, you know, that Dabo didn't think that a guy at Clemson with him as head coach could win the Heisman because he plays so many guys and a lot of his stars don't see the fourth quarter.
They play so many guys. You know, they have receivers that, you know, especially last year, you could make the argument that they could win the Heisman. You have a running back that is in the Heisman conversation. And so, yeah, I think there was an element of kind of like, hey, you know, we're not here to pad stats. Now, all of that being said, if Trevor is just Trevor in the confines of this offense, I think he has a very good shot at it.
No Clemson player has ever won the Heisman Trophy, even though John Heisman actually coached at Clemson. The namesake of the trophy, coached here in the early 1900s. No Tigers ever won it. That pass incomplete to Williams. So now 3rd down and 11. And this game is still a little closer than I'm sure Dabo Swinney would like it. I don't think we're going to see a ton of reserves yet.
I would agree with that, and I think that's good for this starting group here. It's a comfortable lead, but I don't think they'll be aggressively pulling them out.
5-man rush for Virginia, and that should have been caught. Lynn J. Dixon had it and dropped it. And Clemson's going to have to punt.
And this is another 3rd and really long that Clemson's about to convert on. I mean, that ball is right on the money to Lynn J. Dixon, and he's going to run for days. And I think that goes to Dabo not pulling starters out quickly. When they're not playing well, I think he tends to leave them in a little longer.
Will Spires comes down to punt as Billy Kemp stands at the 24-yard line, ready to return. It's a low kick. Bounces. Kemp is going to let it roll inside the 25, where Kendrick, important part of this Virginia team, Terrell Jana, the senior, and this offense have it 1st down after that run by Shane Simpson. And we're seeing a lot of thoughtful kids do some things that they've been inspired to do given the circumstances.
Yeah, I think these two football teams, great examples of it. We've seen the leadership from Trevor Lawrence and obviously Terrell Jana. And I think both coaching staffs have done a great job empowering and listening and supporting their players.
Jana, a big night tonight, 4 catches, including a touchdown. Virginia still in this game with 12:15 to go. Here's Armstrong stepping out of a tackle. And he lost his footing at the 45. That's where he goes down. 2nd down coming up. In a lot of ways, Armstrong's feet have been the best offensive weapon for the Cavaliers.
Most definitely. And I think the coaching staff knows that, and I think they feel like he'll develop as a passer. But he is a competitive runner, and I think they can generate a lot of offense with him doing that.
He stands tall in the pocket. This time has a wide open Kemp along the sideline and catches it at the 43-yard line of Clemson. Virginia moves the sticks.
And this is an outstanding throw because he's got to get it up over the flat defender here, and that's from the far hash. This ball's in the air a long time. I believe it was Goodrich there, and it's a nice job of having some touch on the football by Brennan Armstrong.
That's a gain of 12. And this crowd of 18,700 plus looking for a defensive resurgence by the Tigers. Armstrong tackled at the 40.
I will say this too, Clay, as a quarterback, it's hard to be accurate when you're asked to run the ball like a running back.
Yeah.
You know, Tom Brady isn't asked to run like a running back. He can be more accurate.
20 carries tonight for Armstrong. And they go back to their primary ball carrier, that's Talapapa, at least their primary running back. The junior out of Hawaii. 3rd down and short. This might be a free play. It is. Armstrong taking a shot to Davis again. That has been a good connection. Armstrong to Davis.
Offside. Defense, number 11. 5-yard penalty. Results in a 1st down.
And a break for the Cavs.
It was a free play, but I will tell you, if I'm testing somebody on a 50-50 ball, it's not going to be Andrew Booth anymore. I mean, free play, fine, go ahead and try it. But from now on, if I'm giving someone a chance, Pooljan or Davis, I'm going away from 23.
An amazing one-handed grab in the end zone on the interception you're going to see on SportsCenter later tonight. On the comeback, that catch made by Kemp again. A gain of about 3 before he is wrapped up by Sheridan Jones, sophomore out of Norfolk. As we go under 10 minutes to play. Deep handoff. Talapapa trying to feel his way to the edge on the near side, and there's just nothing there. Leading the attack, big number 47, James Skalski again.
You know, and on the defense, with as much talent as Clemson has, you know, for Brent Venables to say, hey, he's the alpha, he's the worker, he's the example, the toughness, practicing like every play at practice is a game-like play, tone setter for this Clemson defense.
A Clemson defense that had given up 13 points in 2 games. They've given up 17 tonight. Armstrong slides up, wrapped up at the 26-yard line. Justin Maskell, the defensive end, with a big tackle. It's 4th down.
It is a big tackle. It's a great job of Maskell just retracing his steps. You don't want to rush way past the quarterback. So look at him, see him. Armstrong take off, retrace your steps and go make the play, which he does there.
They're going for it, and they've had success on 4th down to the tight end, but it's broken up. Landon Sanders got a hand on it to take it away from Pooljan. And Clemson will take over on downs.
And it's a great play by Landon Sanders. Playing big. That's the key here. And so you get
the big play to give the ball back to Clemson. He's got great hair. He's expected to be a star, if you ask Dabo Swinney. That was a big play, and he might not have made that play because he was called for targeting in the 3rd quarter. That was eventually reversed, so he was able to stay in that game and affect this game here in the 4th quarter.
It's a great point by you, Clay. Yeah, it was really the distinction of forcible contact that kept him in the game. And he comes up big, as you see his night, you know, as part of this defense with 8 pass breakups, a lot of them against bigger, taller receivers, but these defensive backs playing big.
2nd down and 7. Still playing in the 4th quarter. Trevor Lawrence. And this is a big play to Etienne, who has another nice catch and run. He's had several like that tonight. And he is finally knocked out near the 40 of Virginia.
When you say catch and run, I mean, using him as a receiver has been something they started to expand on a year ago, and the blocking on the perimeter is outstanding. It essentially becomes a sweep to your really talented running back by just throwing him the ball on a swing.
They mark him out at the 44. Play fake. Lawrence looks right, comes back left to the tight end. And that is Galloway with a 1st down for the Tigers.
If Tony Elliott stealing plays from Andy Reid and the Kansas City Chiefs. This, I think, was from the Monday night game last week. Motion Amari Rodgers back into the backfield. That's the Tyreek Hill player. And then Galloway, basically the Travis Kelce player there on the tight end screen inside.
Inside run. And that is Chez Malusi, the sophomore out of Naples, Florida, making an appearance. He had 4 carries in the first 2 games for the Tigers, gets 1 here. And that's a pickup of 8 for the youngster. Clemson got some bad news as DeMarcus Bowman, the true freshman running back, unanimous 5-star recruit, decided to enter the transfer portal this week. And now here's Lawrence banging his way inside the 5. But there is no doubt Clemson has a ton of good running backs, even with the loss of Bowman. And, of course, you've got a great quarterback who can run it.
I was going to say 16 is one of those runners. Decides to keep it on the zone read here. And I'm always impressed with the way he finishes these runs. I mean, he's not looking for contact, but he's clearly not afraid of it. And if it calls for him to lower his shoulder, he's got the ability to do it. And wouldn't be surprised to see him end up keeping it on one here either.
That was a gain of 20. Malusi, he gets the handoff. Churning his legs, he's stacked up. And that's going to be no gain. Yeah, they have 6 good running backs. Etienne, Dixon, Rencher, 1, 2, and 3. And then Pace, Malusi, and Dukes, also good young running backs. Here's the Clemson rushing tonight. Etienne impressive on the ground, but also receiving the football.
And I think that's one of the things he wanted to work on coming back to school.
That's going to be a touchdown. Malusi with his first touchdown of the year. And that's the haymaker for Virginia.
It absolutely is. And Malusi's going to get the credit for the touchdown. But how about if you just score with your man if you're the offensive line? Look at the push of these guys. Look at that. Score with your man. I think every offensive lineman did just that. Push the guy you're blocking back into the end zone, and your running back will score. That's just what happened there.
Extra point by B.T. Potter. And number 1 Clemson now leads it 41-17 with 5:27 to go here in Death Valley. Well, that was an easy 7-play, 74-yard drive for the Tigers that has basically salted this one away for number 1 Clemson. But Virginia, for the balances of this game, has made it interesting. Well, next week, these Clemson Tigers have a big one. They host De'Ara King and the Miami Hurricanes. Originally, Clemson didn't have Miami on the schedule. And now it's one of the biggest games of the year in the ACC, and game day is going to be here for it.
And it should be great. And you look at these teams and these quarterbacks, I feel fortunate being at so many ACC games, seeing good quarterback play. You know you're going to get it with Trevor Lawrence, and you're most certainly going to get it with De'Ara King as well. And so it makes a lot of sense for game day to be here in Death Valley.
Talapapa on that run for Virginia as they start at their 25-yard line. Time running out on Virginia. They're going to get their first loss of the year. You know, Brennan Armstrong has had some good moments tonight. He's had some bad moments tonight. All in all, how do you break down what you've seen from the Cavaliers, and what do you expect the rest of the way?
I think they're a good football team. I think the culture that Bronco Mendenhall has built at Virginia, the discipline, the players they recruit, the intelligence of their players, I think they're hard to move the ball against. I think they're going to be competitive on offense. They can be really good if Armstrong can develop into a good passer.
They swing it out to Shane Simpson. After the catch, he's going to pick up a first down. I think the defense for Virginia is going to keep them in a lot of football games and maybe even win them some games. They already, in effect, beat one team. I think they were the reason that they got past Duke.
There's no doubt about it. Bronco and his staff do a nice job on that side of the ball. They're multiple, they confuse people, and they make you earn every yard. And offensively, they have a good offensive line. They've got good runners. Armstrong's going to be part of that. I think finding that Joe Reed type player that they had a year ago would go a long way.
On first down, Armstrong's going to fling it into the Clemson bench. Cavs have a tough game next week. They're going to host NC State. And Dave Doran's team got a big win at Pittsburgh. That was an upset today.
And I think for Dave Doran, now that it appears that they've settled on Devin Leary as their quarterback, you know, kind of on the other side of some of the virus issues that they've had early in the season, I agree with you. I think next week will end up being a really tough contest for both teams.
A rivalry game with Virginia Tech on December 12th this year. It's going to be a first down catch for Talapapa. And a penalty flag comes in late. That might be a horse collar. We'll see.
Personal foul. Horse collar. Defense, number 18. 15-yard penalty. Added to the end of the run. First down.
That's the sophomore free safety, Joseph Charleston, with the penalty.
You know, and I think when you get enough hand of that nameplate when you're behind the player, makes it easy for the official to throw the flag.
First down, Cavaliers.
One of the positives for Virginia tonight, they have only had one penalty this evening. Clemson's had a bunch. Armstrong thrown to the end zone, and that is even out of the reach of Davis at 6'7". No touchdowns for Davis tonight. He had 2 in the game against Duke, but we have seen enough here again tonight to know that he's got a bright, bright future.
Yeah, and Robert and I kind of made the point that, you know, we typically don't get freshmen like him that can come in and play right away. He's definitely proved he belongs.
Here's Kemp, swallowed up from behind. Great pursuit by the linebacker. That was Jake Venables, the oldest son of Brent Venables, the defensive coordinator, just closing quickly to make the stop. Venables has 2 sons on the team, Jake and Tyler. We talked to him about coaching his kids this week. He said, you know, I think it's harder on them than it is me. Because I'm tough on everybody, and he's probably a little tougher on his boys.
I'm sure he is, but there's no doubt they both belong. They're both on the field right now, and they're both good players. You know, Tyler, the true freshman, he's got good speed. He's made some plays already in his opportunities, and you know, we enjoy our time talking to Brent Venables. Has a ton of energy. Oftentimes is the scout team quarterback during the week as they prepare, and his defense is always aggressive and always prepared to play.
Going for it again on 4th down. They're 3 for 4 on 4th down tonight. 2.5 to go. Armstrong sets, throws, caught, first down. Poljan with the catch, the big tight end.
And that's a nice read by Brennan Armstrong. They're trying to get Kemp on the little angle route, but Clemson jumps it, so he comes off of number 1, gets to Poljan on running the, you know, the little out. But you see the underneath route by Kemp, and they jump it, and right between the 8 and the 7. It's a good job by Armstrong.
Just the second catch for Poljan tonight. I know they want to get him involved more in the future. This one gets him down to the 5-yard line. Catch for Terrell Janet. Second down and about a half-yard to go.
You know, the game's obviously not in the balance, but for a quarterback making your second start, having these opportunities, you know, are things you can learn from, build on, build chemistry with receivers, and so they're important.
See what Robert Anae has up his sleeve here, the offensive coordinator. Late throw to the corner of the end zone, and Poljan makes the catch for the score. A flag flies. But that was a wide open tight end at the back of the end zone. And now we'll see what the penalty's about.
There are 2 fouls in the play, both on the defense. Holding, number 2 defense. Penalties decline. Holding number 20 defense. That penalty's declined. Results of the play is a touchdown.
So Virginia scores despite the 2 holding penalties. Campbell pulled Jan out of the end zone. And it's a victory, a moral victory for Virginia here late.
I think so. A little confusion as well. As a kind of a bizarre formation. They shift the right tackle. Swoboda outside. Clemson had a hard time lining up to it and found a way to score.
There's Armstrong again throwing, again to the back of the end zone. And that's going to be out of bounds. Yeah, the back judge at sports still miss Packer and Durham weekdays at 7 a.m. Eastern on the ACC network and the ESPN app. Onside kick handled by Clemson. That was Darion Kendrick with the recovery. And so now Clemson will have it with 1 minute and 11 seconds to go. They're going to get win number 3 on the year, and then they'll start getting ready for Miami. Comes in here next week, and that ought to be good.
That'll be real good. A lot of speed on the field and good challenge for them.
Well, here goes DJ Uiagalelei, a true freshman backup quarterback to Trevor Lawrence. Makes an appearance, and he is an excellent runner, as you can see. Southern California native plunges ahead. Good night for Trevor Lawrence again, the Heisman Trophy candidate, the likely #1 pick in the NFL draft. 329 yards, 3 touchdowns, still no interceptions. I mean, he is in rare form right now, Trevor Lawrence, as that catch is made by Will Sweeney.
You know, his efficiency, his ability just to protect the football but be aggressive with it, give his talented wide receivers opportunities. And his ability as a runner, we saw it again tonight, been a big factor so far this season. He's off to a great start, which really is not a surprise.
36 yards on the ground for Lawrence. Final seconds here, under 10 seconds to go. Clemson's going to run one more play, it appears. And that's going to do it. 41-23 the final, as the regular season winning streak goes to 35 games for Dabo and company. That's the longest streak in ACC history. They have now won 24 ACC games in a row. They haven't lost since that game at Syracuse back in 20.